Thanks, Tracy, for setting up this NCU Faculty Resource Center for us. I'm going to just give you a few hints on using Diggo that I've picked up over the last couple years. You may know all of these, but in case you don't, I think you'll find these really helpful. First off, you want to put a Diggo button on your browser so you can instantly capture any web page you want. If you don't already have one, go up to your name, allow it to show the drop-down menu, and go to Tools. Then over here, you have these bookmarklets. Now, Diggolet, it says it's recommended, is basically a bookmark that will show up among your other bookmarks. If I click it, you can see it shows Diggolet and it shows up in your bookmark section of your browser. That's okay as a general Diggo bookmark, but going back, if you use something like Chrome, and you should, then it's best to use the Diggo extension in Chrome. It also looks like that works on IE and Firefox, and apparently it says it works on Safari, so I'm going to assume that there's a version for Safari. This works a lot better. This is the button that you see up here at the top right. So drop that into your browser and you'll be ready to go. The other thing is I would bookmark the Diggo homepage itself. That is the page where you have your own bookmarks so that you can search them whenever you want. Now let's go to the groups. I'm going to click My Groups and I'm in the Faculty Resource Center. Now you might want to put a photo of yourself in the profile so people instantly know who has put down each bookmark. That's a little helpful. And one thing to note when you find a bookmark. For instance, I'm going to come up to this European Journal of Open and Distance Learning, and I found an article that I really like. Now, I'm going to come up to the right, and since there's a little red flag, that means I've already captured it. If there wasn't a red flag, that means it would be something I haven't captured, and I could capture it. That's okay. If I click it right now, it's just going to allow me to edit what I have. So I'm going to click Capture. Instead of saying Save, it says Edit. I'll just say Edit. Now, one very important thing. Up in this link, it will grab what it feels is the most likely title of the page based on how the page is built. And because pages are built differently, this could end up being gibberish. It could just be the URL. If you leave it that way, that's going to come up as a title, and it's going to be impossible to know what it is when you're looking down a list of bookmarks later. In this case, it grabbed European Journal of Open, Distance, and E-Learning, which is better than just the URL. However, what I really want is the title of the article. The title of the article was Open Textbooks and Increased Student Access and Outcomes. So I copy and pasted that into the description here, and then it used that as the title of the bookmark. I could also just replace this right up here with the title as well. That's what I usually do. Either way seems to work. Then, of course, you tag it, and that's very, very important. You use whatever tags you might want to use to find it later. Finally, click Share to the group, and here we have NCU Faculty Resource Center, and we click Share. Now here's an important point. It'll give you recommended tags. These are tags a group has used. Notice there's an e-learning with a hyphen and e-learning without it. Something I learned is easy to do is to essentially repeat tags over and over in slightly different versions. So I have a video tag and a videos tag. And the problem is sometimes I may use one, sometimes I may use the other for any particular video I grab. Now I've got more tags than I need. So, and this can mean that if I'm looking for a particular video, I type video, it doesn't come up if it's really tagged videos. So we want to try to limit the number of different tags we have. That is the number of different categories. So ideally, we wouldn't have e-learning with a dash and e-learning. We'd use one or the other. And that means use the tags that the group has already used rather than create your own if possible. Now, if you don't have a tag in here that really matches what you have, then create it. But start by using the group's tags and try not to reproduce similar tags that could then confuse people because the same thing could be listed different ways. One just plural of the other or something like that. And with that, you just hit save. And I won't do it now because I've already got this saved. The other thing you can and should do is annotate. Let's go back up to our button and click Annotate. And as you see down here, there are parts that are highlighted and parts that are sticky noted. So what I can do is when I come up to Annotate, click the Annotate button, I can click Add a Sticky Note, and I can just type something. There we go, and save. and there it is. I can also highlight stuff. So here I can grab and use the highlighter. I'm going to undo what I just did. Now that will show up on the page whenever I return to it, and that's what's really nice about it. The other thing is if I go back to our groups page, we come back here, now we have those things that I've highlighted. So we have a little bit of information about where in the document we have interesting points. Also, if you come down to this part, if you notice, I put a comment right into this discussion element of the tag when I originally tagged it that simply said why this is important. So it's I think it's pronounced Kaizena demo, and says that this is a Google app that allows you to add voice comments as well as other comments to Google Drive documents. And that Google is actually talking about releasing LMS. So I can imagine, I know teachers are currently doing this, having students submit their work directly to Drive, have this faculty member put all their comments, feedback on Drive, and then the student can take a look at it right there, and then both will have that version. Faculty are already doing that, and I can see that as a wave of the future. There's even a function that can serve as a fairly simple teacher toolbox. So we'll put some kind of description in the description box as to why the page is important, so that people who are just filing through can immediately take a look and see why it's relevant. A kind of electronic annotated bibliography. Again, here's an example. If you just grabbed under IFTF home, if you simply hit save as, the system simply put IFTF home. So you want to add to that some sort of information. And I can see, and I think this is Tracy, wrote out Institute for the Future down here. So give you better information. And our possibility would have been to just put that right up into the actual title of the tag. So if we open it, hit save, put down the actual title maybe right after the word home. Can you even eliminate home? Because that's sort of meaningless. It's just telling the computer it's the home page. So maybe IFTF colon, and then just copy and paste the entire name, Institute for the Future, after it right there and hit save. Then you'll know exactly what it is. So those are kind of things that I found have been helpful in allowing me to organize my tags. I've got 2,600, so you really do need some methods of organizing them. And once you use those methods, they become very, very easy to find. So again, thanks Tracy for organizing this group.